I prayed at the bed of my mother as she prayed for relief in vain. For the prayer lines that night were all jammed up tight. There was a game at Notre Dame. The priest, he came for a visit. She asked when her prayer would go through. He said, I wish you well, but your SOL if there's a game at Notre Dame. 80,000 fans are praying at the stadium. Millions more cause the game's televised. If there's a ball in the air, your prayer ain't got a prayer when there's a game at Notre Dame. If you pray for the end of world hunger or peace for mankind to begin, better first go online, check the dates and the times of the games at Notre Dame. 80,000 fans are praying at the stadium. Millions more cause the game's televised. If there's a ball in the air, your prayer ain't got a prayer when there's a game at Notre Dame. The priest said lay back and rest now, but mama said I want to sit up and pray. He said just do it for me, your head's blocking the TV and there's a game at Notre Dame. 80,000 fans are praying at the stadium. Millions more cause the game's televised. If there's a ball in the air, your prayer ain't got a prayer when there's a game at Notre Dame. Even the Pope gave up trying to get Jesus on the line when there's a game at Notre Dame.
All right, what's up, people? This is Sean Moerity of the Two Irish Brothers Show, coming at you live from our channel here at the Two Irish Brothers Show, obviously. So, wanted to get on here, talk about the news while it was fresh. I did release a short yesterday, but it's just not the same as interacting with you guys, all one of you that is watching. It said two just a second ago. So come on, people, hop on. Let's talk. Let's shoot the breeze. Let's have a good time. And speaking of which, as always, here in the comment section or the live chat, whatever you prefer to call it, here is the link to get into the show and talk along with me. Be a part of the show. Now, this was kind of last minute, and talking with Ben, wasn't sure if he was going to be able to make it or not. But like I said, I wanted to get on here and talk about the news while it was still fresh, and just didn't have that opportunity to last night. But yeah, huge news. It was only a matter of time before a choice had to be made, and I'm sure it was not easy for Coach Freeman to make the decision on a quarterback because both Carr and Kenny Minchie are both very capable of being the starting quarterback. But at the end of the day, as said in the movie Highlander, there can be only one. Hey, Nick, what's up, man? I know. But here's the thing that you got to know about Ben. He's married and has a family to worry about. I don't, so I have some more free time on my hands. It's not that I haven't been trying, though. And also, can you guys hear me okay? Because I've been having problems with this microphone. All my equipment's been going to crap, so I need to fix that before the season gets here. But right now, I'm just trying to make do with what I have. But as long as you guys can hear me all right, that's all I care about. So feedback, please, in the comment section. It helps me out. But anyway, I would assume that you guys can hear me okay. I haven't seen a comment yet. But anyway, I'm holding the microphone right here for now, just to that way make sure that you guys can hear me. But yeah, look at this thing. It's all falling apart. Even this is falling apart. Oh, good. Thank you, Mr. Sean K. I appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully I can get some new speakers and a new microphone before the start of the season. Has anyone heard? Was it so close because they were both so good, or was it the other way around? Myself personally, I don't know. I really don't know. If I had to guess, I would say it's because Carr is more of a pro-style quarterback, and Minchie is more of like a, what you call it, a scrambler. That'd be my guess. I mean, don't get me wrong, Minchie can throw, but I just he's not the worst, but I would say he's almost kind of like Riley, not exactly the greatest downfield threat. But just that's the thing with Minchie, there's not much film on him or Carr. I mean, the only regular season game action CJ Carr saw was a couple of handoffs. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't even think he threw a pass. The only time he threw a pass was in the spring game. Now, Minchie, he's seen some, well, compared to Carr, he's seen some more significant playing time in the regular season, but a lot of that was running too. So he didn't throw a ton of passes. It sounded like Carr was unbelievable in the spring, or in the spring practice, so Angeli left. This actually kind of makes me nervous. I don't see why it should. I mean, listen, I like Steve Angeli. The guy can ball out, but he has his issues too. And one of those issues was holding on to the ball way too long. So it's not like he was without flaw. But no, we should all be excited because this is. I mean, again, I'm not just putting Steve Angeli on the back burner and saying, oh, he didn't matter. No, of course he mattered. But this is what we've been waiting for. Okay? It was in the same class, it was CJ Carr and Dante Moore. And I was calling it all the way back then that, unless the two of them stuck around and battled, one of them was going to be transferring out. And but that Angeli left. Sorry, we worded that wrong. That Carr had such a close run with Minchie. No, you're not. You're good. I knew what you were talking about, Sean. Yeah, not that Angeli left. Sorry, worded that wrong. That Carr had such a close run. Yeah, okay. Right, not. No, I knew what you were saying, dude. I'm just explaining, the process of, going with the right guy at quarterback. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. CJ Carr and Dante Moore in the same recruiting class. I had a feeling that one of them was going to be transferring. And obviously we know who that was. And, well, he's been to two schools since, Dante Moore. But no, I had predicted that it was going to be one of those two. And once Dante Moore decommitted from Notre Dame, I figured this is CJ's job to win in the future. And I really felt all along that they were building this team to be CJ's team to lead for the next 3 years minimum. Because guys usually only play for 3 years, then they go pro or whatever. But like I said in the short that I made yesterday, even though Kenny Minchie is not the starting quarterback, still expect to see expect Minchie to get plenty of reps. He's not just going away. He's going to be an asset to this team for sure. Nick says, I had heard that CJ was good in the spring game in summer, and then Kenny was good in fall camp. You know, that tends to happen. That does tend to happen. You know, some guys just, they just blossom at different times. But honestly, let me tell you guys something. No matter if it's the spring or the fall, I would rather those guys get their mistakes out of the way in practice than make them in a game. Because I remember day one of fall camp, everybody was freaking out about, CJ throwing 3 interceptions and Minchie throwing 1. Then Minchie was getting the first team reps and CJ was getting the number 2 reps and so on. It's like, first off, it's the first day of practice. Number 2, in general, it's practice. Number 3, if you've seen our defensive backfield and our linebackers, can you think of a better unit to practice against that's going to help you out? Exactly. Hold on, guys. I might have a message here. Oh, it's from my brother. It's his birthday today, so he was saying thank you to the birthday wish. Sean says, I just wish we played Michigan with Lloyd Carr's grandson in the gold and blue. Yeah, well, it's not like we're not trying to make it happen. Nick says, that's what practice is for, and I heard Carr was pushing the envelope to try to make an impression. Well, that's what you're there to do. If you want to start for this team, you have to do that. You have to stand out. You have to get the coaches looking at you. But anyway, going back to what I was saying about the process with this being set up to be CJ's team, there's a lot of people out there on social media, which take that with a grain of salt because social media can be nothing but poison. I mean, just vile. There's some people that are so unhappy about this. And this is the stuff that drives me crazy with not just our fan base, but every fan base does this. We've had a transfer portal quarterback for, let's see, there was Sam Hartman. Then before him, there was what's the dude from Wisconsin? I forget his name. I'm drawing a blank. But there was him, and then, of course, last year there was Riley Leonard. Well, that obviously was not the plan to go with transfer quarterbacks all the time. It wasn't. Coach Freeman said, my goal is to develop in-house. And so last year it was necessary to go to the transfer portal. Because, well, listen, Angeli made a good push for it, but he wasn't standing out. And the rest of the quarterbacks just either weren't matching up or they weren't ready. And CJ Carr fell under that category of not being ready. So they put the red shirt on him. But now is that opportunity that people have been waiting for. You've got what you wanted to build in-house and go with a guy in-house. And now there's some people that are upset about this. Why? All because they didn't get the guy that they wanted. It's like, can you just put it off to the side and support whoever we go with? Because, I mean, there are some people, I don't want to be dramatic and say freaking out about this, but they're so pissy that Minchie wasn't the guy. Yeah, that's right, Jack Cohn. Jack Cohen. I don't know why I was drawing a blank on his name. But it's just ridiculous. People are turning on this kid before he's even seen a snap, for the upcoming season. Give him a chance to be a full-time guy. But that's the thing. A lot of people they bitch just to bitch, and it gets so old. But the bottom line is we're going with in-house. We're building guys. That's what the goal was all along, and now it's coming to fruition. All right, catch up on some of the comments here. Sean says, with our running backs, I think a pocket pass was more what Notre Dame needs. I agree. Nick says, so how fair is it that we set aside 21 games and shit again sets aside 0? WTF. I know, right? And those people still come along talking shit. It's like, this is what I tell them all the time. We would be, a Notre Dame that is, we would be in the Big Ten right now if it wasn't for Field and Yost. You guys know the story, right? Man, if you are a true ND fan, you get behind whoever's quarterback number one. Yes. I mean, look, I know I understand that people are cheering for particular players. I get it. Believe me, I do. But there can be only one at the end of the day. And you're not always guaranteed to have a 2-quarterback package. But these are all guys on the team. It's like I said in the short yesterday. If Kenny Minchie won the job, I'd be behind him 100%. You know, no condition whatsoever. Nick says, I have been saying our quarterback this year needs to make the least mistakes possible and get the ball to the playmakers. Yes, I agree. And I was actually talking about this with a couple friends yesterday. Listen, I loved Riley Leonard. You know that he's a good guy, and he did wonders for us. But this is just the truth. He's not a downfield threat. He isn't. It's just a fact. He doesn't have the arm strength to throw 50 or 60 yards. CJ Carr does, and he has that potential to be a downfield threat. And with all the receivers that we have, you know, they're playmakers, especially Greathouse. I mean, these are some talented. Oh, I just saw this. Whew. You son of a bitch. I know you're kidding. Man, that was brutal. That was brutal. But like I was saying, with our receiving room, you're right, Nick. We have to get the ball in the playmakers' hands, because when these guys go up for the jump balls that we've seen, they're talented, and we need a quarterback that can present a downfield threat at any point, not just sometimes. And I'm sorry, but Riley just couldn't do that. So this is a chance to, you know, put that behind us. But at the same time, I respect it with Riley, you work to the quarterback's strengths. So I respect that as well. Sean K says, I've been behind Carr since he came in. It just makes me nervous he didn't win the starting job a little bit easier. Well, that just says a lot about Freeman and his coaching staff's recruiting. You know, they're bringing in talented guys where, and I actually think it's a good thing that it's harder to compete, because you know, you have to do. It gives you the opportunity to show the coaches something where you stand out. So it makes the job more intense, and it shows the coaches how bad they want. I get more shit from Iowa fans than me. Like, Iowa fans are ones to say shit about anything. Believe me, I grew up in the I grew up about 17 miles away from the Iowa border. I'm sure you've heard me say it many times, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. It says, man, how cool would it be to see average people in the offense? I hope to see it. I hope to see it too. I agree, Sean. I'm nervous, but I would be appreciative. Yeah, you support the guys who are on your team. You know, they came here, they don't be here, get behind it. And I don't know if this really makes that much of a difference, but maybe if you're on the campus, you spend more time getting behind the players, and maybe jump to the transfer. Yeah, I know, Sean. It's a crap. This microphone's done this shit. Trust me, I'm working on getting a better one. But it's just, they're not exactly cheap. Unless I could find one hell of a sale. My goal is to eventually get I get paid tomorrow. See what I have left. Maybe I can do a little shopping. Nick says, you should have heard all the shit I got from my friends last year. I live an hour away from Bloomington. Great. Nick, where were you at last year on gear? We got it a lot from Indiana. Well, I guess it really wasn't. I take that back. I guess it really wasn't. They're doing now of coming and like, hey, can I see your Notre Dame degree? You didn't go to Notre Dame. Oh, you didn't go to college. You're uneducated. And here's the thing, guys. I don't think they're actually serious when they say that. They're just trying to throw insult to you and insinuate that, oh, if you don't have a degree, you're not intelligent. Oh, I'm sorry, Nick. Well, hey, it was nice to have you on here for a little bit. Yeah, that was not every Michigan fan went to Michigan. Not every USC fan went to USC. Not every Florida fan went to Florida. Alabama. Oh, you're cool now? Awesome. This guy became obsessed with us and quickly started a war. And, well, needless to say, the Saturday morning after the game, all the Indiana fans were gone. But no, getting back to the topic of the stream here, getting back to CJ Carr. Obviously there's going to be a lot of things that he has to work out. I don't think he's going to come into Hard Rock Stadium on the 31st and play like a Heisman. I mean, if he does, that's great. But all I'm saying is, don't be surprised if there's a learning curve in there. Yep, haters gonna hate. I've been doing YouTube since 2009, and I have just
Well, I'm not surprised. I'm never surprised by it, but what does surprise me is the different levels that people will go to. So like I was saying, there's going to be a learning curve because he is going to be a first-time starting quarterback at the collegiate level. So he's not going to be perfect. He's not going to be super well polished. There's going to be some mistakes made. So, I mean, yeah, don't be, don't be surprised if you see a few interceptions or fumbles and miscommunications. It's going to happen with a young quarterback. But just, this is where the coaching comes into play. And if he keeps getting better and better, then there you go. But that's where Kenny Minchie is a big asset to this team because he's been around, for a year or two longer than CJ has. He knows the system. He can come in if needed. And so that's that right there is very valuable. He has been practicing for this his whole life. Modern day. Yeah, I agree. I think that's, even though Rudy was a walk-on, I think that's true with all the guys that are, the higher recruits. They've been practicing for this their whole life, and that's exactly true. Oh, yeah, he's going to make some mistakes. I just hope they happen in the Purdue game. Yeah, Purdue sucks. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but they do. That team needs a lot of work. That and Buckner will be on his shoulder after every series. Put your head on my shoulder. They got another kid on the team, that Blake Hebert. He has a lot of potential for the future. Yeah, we can beat Purdue with half an O-line. Well, that pretty much showed last year against them. I mean, what was it, like 5 seconds left in the first half? They couldn't stop us from scoring a touchdown, and we were all the way downfield, or deep in our own territory. But no, just to let you guys know, I wasn't going to be on here for extremely long. Just basically wanted to talk about Carr and go live, and hope the news is going to be fresh enough to get more than a couple people. But I guess that's more because it's just us. Who wants to see this? Who wants to see this ugly mug all the time? I mean, nothing against you, Nick. I mean, we're glad to have you as a viewer. But you just like to have more to go with you. Yeah. Is it Herbert? I thought it was Hebert without the R. Well, I mean, Hebert is going to be the starter after Carr. I mean, if things work according to plan, I'd like to think that would be the case. Get a nice little succession of quarterbacks in there. That's what I thought. Price ran like 75 yards on that play. That's what I thought. But yeah, this is what I'm about to read here is from UHND, and this is on their recent article. This section of that article is called "A Process of Evaluation." Denbrock noted how the competition helped the staff refine their evaluation. I think one thing that the competition has allowed us to do, and me to do in particular, is really drill down through the course of camp. What are the things that they do really well, and what are the things that they need a lot of work on? Both those categories are full of things. And so having the opportunity while the competitor is ongoing for me to gather data and information about what fits with which guy and when is pretty valuable stuff. Exactly. The general consensus is that Carr excelled in pushing the ball downfield and taking chances throughout camp, at times maybe too many chances, given the reports of camp interceptions. But practice is the time to make those mistakes, which I said earlier. Notre Dame needs its passing game to be more vertical if it wants to take the final steps, and Carr's ability to get the ball vertical is a huge plus. Freeman also emphasized the importance of patience in the process when he opened camp. Today was day one. We will grade it every day. We'll put them in similar challenging situations. They'll rotate between groups, and at some point, when a starter is ready to be named, we will have to name one, he said earlier this month. Unlike post-quarterback competitions, Notre Dame fans can rest easy knowing that this was indeed a real process and a real competition. While many expected Carr would ultimately be the winner, he had to earn it all summer long. This wasn't Sam Hartman winning a competition over Stephen Jelly or Jack Cohn beating out Drew Pine. This was a heavyweight fight between two very highly touted and capable quarterbacks. Exactly. Hey, we need to make plays. Hey, we need to make plans. Hey, I saw your comments earlier, dude. Yeah, no, we definitely should do that for sure. If we're up in South Bend, or if you happen to be in our neck of the woods, we'll see about making that happening. Making that happening. So, do you think Carr is partying tonight? Probably not. He sounds like it. Denbrock is such a pro. Man, I hope we can keep him until we win a natty. It'd be nice. It'd be nice. You know, want to hear something funny? I was looking at on Facebook yesterday, and again, I try to take this with a grain of salt because all social media you have to. So there's a lot of dumbasses and dipshits out there. Somebody actually insinuated to me that Marcus Freeman, he wouldn't name names, but I knew who he was talking about. But he insinuated that Marcus Freeman and Mike Denbrock are two traditional holding things back. Are you kidding me? They've been doing things so much different than past regimes, it's not even funny. So, what kind of people? I mean, I'm hoping it was just a troll, because other than that, what kind of people do we have in our fan base? Oh, he's off tomorrow. Okay, why not? Well, I guess he could. But, well, needless to say, he just got one of the biggest jobs in college football, so if I was him, I'd probably be taking it easy. That's just what I do. Yep. I have it basically to reconnect with both friends. Find out what the class reunions are. The show here to promote, put out there. I'd like to think it's working to some degree. But yeah, there's just so much toxic elements on social media. Well, I suppose I guess he would get it out of his system, party and that kind of stuff. In my opinion, I think the right guy got it. The right guy won. It's not saying much, but you can just tell in the spring game the kid has the intangibles. He has the skill set. He's very capable of being the next top guy. And again, I just think it's ridiculous that people are starting to draw him before it's like you wanted to build a house. Well, now you got your wish. Yeah, I forget his name. One of the younger guys. Let me see if I can find the article where they had that. Oh, let's see. Because who was? Let's see who'd been getting work there. Okay, yeah, Gearby Lambert, Sullivan Absher. I heard they'd been getting some reps there. Yeah, this one was from a few days ago. The projected depth chart has Sullivan Absher at right guard. There's been a few projections. In-house quarterback, hopefully for at least at least 2. I'd like to see 3, but we'll see. Yeah, no, exactly nothing solid yet. I was just looking at projected depth charts, but I know those guys have been seeing some reps there for sure. But we'll see. Man, Jagasaw. You know, he's Charles Jagasaw. You know, he's a local product out of here, right? Out of the Quad Cities, went to Rock Island Element. It's just disappointing that. Look, he's a young kid. He should have fun, but damn, I mean, when you're projected to be a starting offensive lineman for Notre Dame, you got to be careful what you do in your free time. Let's see, what was that? 4-wheeler accident or something? I think. Yeah, it was an unfortunate thing that happened for sure. Yeah, dude. If you're feeling like getting in here, Nick, there's the link. Or anybody else that happens to be watching. But like I said, I might actually call it quits here pretty soon because you guys are probably tired of the crap. Can't say that I blame you. I am too. I need a microphone, speakers. The speakers are crackling too. You guys can't hear them, but I can. And I'll say the webcam is fine. That's not absolutely. Oh, okay. You don't want to find yourself in the doghouse and do that. Because that's where you'll end up pissed off. I'm not married, but I know that. So, yeah, no, that's really all I wanted to talk about tonight was just, CJ Carr winning the job. And I'll probably stay on here for about 5 more minutes. I look marvelous. Thank you. Now, since I look marvelous, now maybe I could get, maybe I could stop getting the weirdos of all the women out there. You know, let's have a quick. It's funny in regards to my. And this is nothing. I'll make one thing very clear. Do you think CJ Carr can handle the ball offensively? Well, okay. I'm sure you well enough. Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, he didn't have to get used to it. I mean, he did get a couple snaps last season. But it, like I said, it was just handoffs. There was no passing. But now it's a little different. You're the guy. You're the one leading this offense. You're the one that's calling out the audibles. You're the one that's handling the ball. You're the one throwing the passes. It's all you now. So this isn't just a little warm-up. This is on you. But at the same time, this is where coaching comes into play as well. It's up to Coach Freeman and Coach Denbrock to keep you calm and just be like, hey, it's just high school. You've done this a million times before. Don't forget what you did there. You'll be able to handle it at this time. But no, with the family that this kid comes from, I think that's it. Just going to take a little bit of getting used to it. Or were you just asking about him handing the ball off? I'd like to think he can hand it off okay. One of the craziest things I remember hearing was when Team Brooklyn started showing up on the scene. I remember that the announcers called them handoff specialists. I didn't even know that was a thing. Because you figured anybody could hand the ball off. Unless they're talking like the time. I know he's going to spin it like a mofo. I just worry he gets the ball and tries to off the rails. Yeah, he'll be fine. That's the thing. If you build up enough of a rapport in practice and get that chemistry going, you'll be all right. But anyway, real quick, back to my personal life. And I want to make something very clear to everybody watching. I am not mocking mental health, but I've got to stop getting the women that have a severe case of it. That's been my track record lately. Just to finish that point off. Screw it. Talking in front of a bunch of, well, you're not a stranger, Nick, but other people are. Might as well just say it. I just got out of a 2-month, I don't even know if I'd call it a relationship, but a 2-month ordeal with a girl who turned out to be completely detached from everything. And she was a cutter. So she had a lot of issues. So if I could, the point is, if I can no baggage or anything that I have to worry about, then that'd be nice. So I know people, the trolls and the haters of us, like to make a joke about, oh, why aren't you married? Hey, I'm trying. So it's not. So just because I'm single, don't think that I don't go on dates. 10 days and 22 hours until kickoff. Joe's Friday night. Safe ass. You can spell out the word ass. Safe principles after. I like it. I know what you're referencing to, Nick. Lou Holtz and Jimmy Johnson. You want to fight in the parking lot? Fine, fight in the parking lot all you want, but save Jimmy Johnson's ass for me. Oh, hey, Sean Hunter. Excited for CJ to get the job done. Our boys are fine to get to work. Yes. Yes. The quarterback's picked. Now let's focus and go to work. Exactly. But no, it just you look at CJ from the spring, and I don't want to count high school because high school is obviously not the same as a collegiate level. I'm going with the footage that we have in college, but he looks like he has the potential to be a real nice pro-style quarterback that we're looking at. And one thing that people don't realize too is I'm not calling him a scrambler or this big-time runner, but he can bust ass if he needs to. That's what I think a lot of people are what they're forgetting is this kid can move if he needs to. Greatest locker room speech at Notre Dame ever, maybe. Even bigger than Rockney. We're going inside and out. You think it's better than that? That's a tough one, dude. That's crazy. I just, seeing your previous comment, Nick, I just can't believe it's 10 days away already. Time has really been moving by fast this summer. It seems like just yesterday the season was ending, and, well, that last game obviously was heartbreak. But Rocky might have had one better, maybe. To be fair, Holtz knew how to motivate his guys. He knew the right things to say and what they needed to do. Yeah. It's funny. Speaking of Penn State, it brings me back to what I was talking about with those. That one fan that said that traditionalists are holding us back. How exactly are Freeman and Denbrock holding us back? I mean, this past season alone. Yes, I know. I get it. There's been some eyesores. Losing to Marshall, losing to a crap Stanford team. Losing to Northern Illinois, yeah, those are shit stains indeed, and they're ugly. But look at the bigger picture. In one season, get our first ever college football playoff win not one but two major bowl games for the first time ever since the 1994 Cotton Bowl. So you end that drought, and you get a national championship game appearance, which it sucked. We lost, didn't go our way, but what a lot of people forget too, even myself included at times, we actually battled back in that game. At being down 31-7, we made it an 8-point game at one time. And it was near the end of the game, but we had a chance. We were down 8. We had Ohio State to a 3rd and long, had a chance to make the stop. Couldn't get it done. But no, people forget we made that a 1-score game and had a chance to make a stop and get one more crack at it on offense. Yeah, Freeman and Denbrock have had their problems, but look how much they and the team have achieved in 3 short years. Exactly. I mean, look at what happened with Freeman when he first was named the head coach. He was left in a shitty quarterback situation. He had, at that point, Tyler Buckner was the starting quarterback, which, to be fair, we thought he was, going to be great. Nothing against Tyler, he's a good guy. But left with Tyler Buckner, Stephen Jelly at the time, who was not ready, and Drew Pine. And as I've said a million times, I give Drew Pine all the credit in the world. He saved our season. He did. I mean, without him, we probably win 6 games, 5 or 6 games. But no, we ended up winning 8 and winning the Gator Bowl, and making it 9. So, yeah, he's up with a crappy quarterback situation. So it's not shocking that he has to go to the Warriors. That's what people don't seem to realize. When you've got some crops that aren't, fully grown yet, you have to get one that is. I think Freeman might be building Notre Dame into the new Alabama. We need to prove it this year by proving we belong in the elite circle. Yes, I agree. And man, I tell you, last season got us off to a great start. But now that next month, is getting that direction. The first hump, got that out of the way. One after the next up after that, even though they're part of the playoffs, I still consider them a little bit. Get them to the playoffs, 2 and 3. Second step, win a major bowl. 1, 2. And then 3. Gotta win it. That's the next one. Two of those 3 and they've been doing it. Don't get me wrong, they've been doing it. We're seeing results, but we're not seeing 100% of those results. '88 was a long time ago. That's all I need to say. Yeah, this has been fun. I gotta say, even though there haven't been a ton of people here, this has been fun. They always are. Honestly, I don't know what's more fun: talking about CJ Carr winning the starting quarterback job, or talking about my personal life. I don't want to bore you guys with that, though. But just being honest with you guys, I've had some doozies out there. I've had some doozies. But if any of you guys have any more questions or want my thoughts on something in regards to Notre Dame, just ask away. How confident do I feel in Bone's captaincy? Well, he's earned it. I mean, he's a very skilled player. He's a leader. He has leadership capabilities. Or attributes, I guess, is more fitting. He's obviously someone that the rest of the team looks up to, and he wouldn't have been named a captain if he wasn't. So man, that linebacker group and the defensive backs, man, I cannot wait to see them in action. Oh, yeah, he's a hawk. That kid's all over the place making plays. No, I'm so excited to see this team in action. I just hope come the 31st we go into Hard Rock and just I'll just play balls with the wall. smoking. Because look, I know it's with a first-time player at the collegiate level in CJ Carr, I know there's a lot of nervousness. I'm nervous too. It's just what makes me less nervous is seeing the supporting cast that CJ has around him. I mean, a Heisman caliber running back in CJ Love, or Jeremiah Love, excuse me. I hate when I do that. So you have J Love, and then Darian Price behind him. You got the tight end, the wide receiver room, Jaden Greathouse in particular. The transfers, what's his name? Malachi Fields, Will Balling. I mean, you've got a lot of experience around you. A stud offensive line who a lot of those guys were young. Go to our offensive line depth chart and just see how young those guys are. This is a group that's going to be around for 2 years together. Another 2 years at least. And look at the strides they all made as first-time starters. Some freshmen. I mean, they were phenomenal. So, yeah, I'm feeling very confident this group, even with CJ Carr being a starter, or a first-time college starter. That's what gets me more excited than nervous. Sneed, Assa, Bowen, and Osbury. Yeah. Then the defensive backfield, we have what's his name, the transfer from Alabama, Devontae Smith, and Leonard Moore, Christian Gray. I mean, yeah, Gray got picked on quite a bit, but look at the strides he made. Leonard Moore, former Benjamin Morrison. I mean, they played lights out. Sean, you should make this an every Wednesday evening. Yeah, we could. I'd rather it be the two of us, me and Ben, talking to you guys. But I'll talk to Ben, see what he wants to do. Just the thing is, for him, school's back in session. So we'll see what he wants to do. Yes, do not sleep on Talent, how do you pronounce his name? Yeah. I agree. This just shows not only the depth, but the recruiting job of Marcus Freeman, because we have the talent to go with that depth. Guys that can step in and play. Last year was a prime example of it. And this is something that we definitely didn't see a lot of in the Kelly era. And listen, since I brought him up, I got to say this, and I'm going to stand by this. I know a lot of people hate Brian Kelly. And yes, he did fall short in a lot of things that he could have done differently, like with how he recruited and so on and so forth, how he is as a person, and just the two-facedness, I get it. But I'm sorry. You cannot, what he did to help get this program turned around, I'm not going to take that away from him. And he can't have that taken away from him. Because look at where we were before Kelly. And with what Kelly accomplished, I would definitely take that over the previous 12 years any day. So, as much of an asshole as Brian Kelly is, he did get us back to relevancy. Our depth in recruiting has gotten 10 times better than you're damn right it has. And now that, now that the NIL's in place, that can be a huge factor too. Oh, hey, CW. Haven't seen you in a while. You're exactly right. That's what people forget. if no Kelly, we would never have had Freeman. Yes, because that was definitely one of the smart things that Kelly did do, was hire Marcus Freeman as his defensive coordinator his last year. And what happened? Freeman becomes the head coach. So yeah, there were some good things that Kelly did that you can't take away from him. You can't take that away, but the fact he phoned in the job in the last 4 years still makes me want to see him get fired at LSU. Well, I was pissed off when he did that, like everybody else was. But quite frankly, I don't care what happens to him at LSU. If he gets fired, okay, that's their choice. But he, as soon as he went down there, he was trying to pretend to be something that he's not. And I'll just let karma take care of that. So yeah, I'll just let karma bite him in the ass. But it's just, yeah, there was a lot of bad games he lost, and so, well, of course, everybody was, regardless of if an asshole. Nobody. It's not like Notre Dame fans wanted him to fail. So yeah, I would have liked to have seen him win one here too. But some things happen for a reason, I guess. But like I was saying, there's just he had some bad losses when he was here for sure. He had a 4-8 season. So, but it's just at the same time, you can't take away the fact that he had 5 straight years of winning double-digit games. You can't take away the fact that he did lead us to the playoffs and a BCS national title game appearance, and so you can't take that away. I mean, no, we didn't get the results that we wanted, of course not. But you have to remember too, before Brian Kelly, what were the previous 12 years like? A disaster. And Matt Shelton, who we've had on the show before, you guys should go get his book, Rising Through Every Fall. He talks about this. But look at the 12 years before Brian Kelly. A combination of Willingham, Bob Davie, and Charlie Weiss. It was not good. Charlie Weiss had a couple of good years in there, but Willingham couldn't recruit worth a squad or put together a team. Bob Davie just did not seem to want to evolve when it came to the sport of football. Well, thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. Sean, the philosopher of karma, great take. It's true. I mean, it's like, what's the point of harping with Brian Kelly? Yeah, that was bad. But at least 2016 stayed up because we hadn't won the World Series. Give it time. Give that some time. They'll reinstate all those wins, and those wins are also still on his personal coaching record. But yes, I do count those years. It was so stupid that they did that, all because some rogue tutor was inconsistent with their stories. And so stupid, dude. Well, yeah, I wrote the papers for those guys. Let me. This is where it's such bullshit. So I get that college is a lot different than high school, obviously. But there's 2 things that they still do in college that they do in high school. Remember when you had to write a paper back in high school English class, for example? What was the first thing you did? You wrote a rough draft, correct? Then the teacher would usually mark all your mistakes. No different in college. A tutor's going to help you see your mistakes. So it's just so freaking stupid. Yes, they were very brutal. Good moments, but overall brutal. Well, all I know is, guys, we've all been through a lot with this team. It looks like better days are definitely ahead. And I think they're here to stay too. So look, I'm probably going to go ahead and jump off here. Thank you guys so much for showing up for this last minute stream. And well, next week, well, you could say the same thing about high school too. I mean, shit, high school, right papers back then, you got a lot. Next, I mean, they still had, I mean, those guys still had to go back and retype it or whatever. At least they were going to class. There's a lot of places where guys don't. But anyway, guys, so yeah, I'm going to jump off here. And it's hard to imagine that next week, Ben and I go back to work. Start of the season. Get our first preview in for Miami. So not sure when we're going to release that. Early week, midweek. We'll see. We got to get a schedule down. You know, we do want to put ourselves back out there. I mean, this was a pretty bad, you know, off season for us because we hadn't really been doing much. But we want to try to put some more stuff out there. And well, anyway, to sum it up, we've been slacking. Which is probably why a lot of you guys are running off and going and watching the other guys, Singer and John Goolsby and whoever else. But it's like we haven't been trying. But we take it. It's just the thing is we don't always have the time to put out extra stuff as much as we'd love to. So yeah, so be on the lookout next week sometime for our preview for Miami, and just can't wait. And I'll talk to Ben about trying to do a weekly live stream. So on that note, guys, y'all take it easy. God bless, and go out.